Hey guys, what's going on, my fellow YouTube viewing audience? This is going to be the second recording of this video I made. Unfortunately, the first recording, my recording software didn't have my microphone connected to it for some reason. But don't worry, if you're hearing this now, that means that it is connected and you are listening to my voice. So, on our group stage day 3, we have a 75% correct pick rate. Unfortunately, we did lose one, and we'll talk about that later. But first, the most interesting game, the last one of the night. Virtus Pro versus G2 Esports. In the first map, Virtus Pro played Train against G2 Esports, which is the same map that they crushed G2 on in the first group stage, and they actually won. This time, not so definitively. Sorry about that. In the first map, they actually won it 16-1. But this time, G2 definitely brought their game, and it was a 16-9, so a much closer game. In map 2, G2 actually won, so this wasn't a 2-0. We went all the way to 3 maps. G2 won on Inferno, beating Virtus Pro by a close margin as well. And on the third map, a little bit of a controversy that you guys will see on Reddit, surely happened, where Virtus Pro was actually taking a little bit of an advantageous lead on Cobblestone, and during a 1v1, it looks like the between Taz and someone else on G2, TeamSpeak actually crashed for both teams, and it was quite a sight to see 4 of the Virtus Pro members shouting at Taz at the top of their voices in the booth with their headphones off. Now, it is against the rules to take the headphones off during a game because casters are relaying a lot of information to the crowd, and if the headphones aren't on, then there's the possibility of information being leaked about the other team's play. Now, in this case, it's understandable, and the ruling was that the round should stay and not be replayed. However, G2 has never been a Legends team, which is a team that's been in the quarterfinals. And a Legends team has the advantage of being invited to the next Valve Major, which means that they don't have to go through the tough process of going through qualifications. Now, G2 contested the decision to just let the round pass by and, reboot TeamSpeak and everything, and they spent a little bit of our precious stream time and deliberated and determined that the first kill of the round happened before the TeamSpeak crash, so the round still stood, and from that point, Virtus Pro just pretty much finished out the game with very little resistance from G2 Esports, and that unfortunately means that if you're a fan of the French scene of CSGO, all your teams are gone. Envious crashed and burned in the first 2 days of the group stages, going out 0-2, and G2 now has been eliminated in the third day. So unfortunately, no French teams. However, if you're an American, you'll be rejoicing, because if you look at the quarterfinals over here between Team Liquid and Counter Logic Gaming, both of those are North American teams, so that means that the winner will be North American and we'll move on to the semifinals. Great. Between CLG and Gambit Gaming, they had some pretty close games, bringing it to map 3, I believe. I didn't catch the full series of games, but I think it was pretty good. Between Fnatic and FaZe, I didn't get to see any of their games, but the odds are always stacked pretty heavily in Fnatic's favor, especially against what a pretty new team that people don't really think has been like the best of the best, and Fnatic is currently the #1 team in the world, so not a surprise that they won out here. Now, about the pick that we didn't make, I, on the previous day, really bashed NIP for having Threat on their team, and it was my initial impression that Threat would just throw a wrench in the works and destroy any sense of teamwork and unity that they would have that really enables them to beat other teams, just in general. That's how they beat other teams. But when NIP went against Mouse Sports, they actually played very well. The match was pretty balanced in terms of odds on betting sites. It was about 45-55 in favor of Mouse Sports, and NIP actually managed to pull out and get the victory in the best of 3. And that means that they still haven't dropped out in group stages in a Valve Major yet, which is good for them. Unfortunately, though, they face very stiff competition in the quarterfinals. Natus Vincere was contesting the grand final against Envious in the previous major and have shown that they are extremely skilled, especially Guardian with his op. So I think that Natus Vincere definitely going to take the maps in the quarterfinals. Between Australis and Fnatic, Australis at one point, under the name TSM, was one of the best games in the world, one of the best teams in the world, consistently getting into semifinals and even into grand finals. I think I haven't really actually seen them perform as Australis yet because there hasn't been a major. So this is going to be the major where they prove that they can still compete with the best teams in the world. So I'm looking forward to this game. Just going to have a safe bet with Fnatic, #1 team in the world. Can't go wrong. Well, actually, you can go wrong. Anyways, Team Liquid over CLG. I just think they're a better team. That's all. Luminosity over Virtus Pro. They actually haven't faced each other much, especially not in a major setting. And I think Virtus Pro, which has been on a slump recently, they're very scary when they boot camp and get in the spirit of the majors. But I think Luminosity Gaming, currently being the #4 best team in the world, or #4 ranked team in the world, are definitely going to give them a run for their money. And I think Luminosity is going to win over Virtus Pro, but not outstandingly. It's going to be a very close game, and I look forward to watching it tomorrow because that is the game that's going to be aligning with my schedule. Oh yeah. So let's go look at the fantasy team prediction. So I did this in the previous video, so I didn't record the audio, but I'll explain what happened. So on the previous day that we predicted, Flusha did fairly well with a fairly even KD, which means that we don't lose any points. Nico did very well as the clutch king, and as a clutch king, you get a lot of points per clutch kill. So he did us a good job, even though his team got knocked out, so we can't use his sticker anymore. As the Eco Warrior next did decently as well. Not a great KD, but he got pistol kills, so the bonus compensated, and the fact that 2 points per kill, 1 point per death still weighs in our favor. Entry fragger Olaf performed decently as well. It was a very good KD, about 4-3, and not that many opening kills though, so the bonus isn't really coming into effect, but he is just a good player, so it's expected that he'll have these pretty decent amount of points. As the sniper, we chose Chris J, and as I talked about before, Mouse is knocked out of the tournament by NIP. He didn't actually have a great KD, but he pretty much only used the sniper rifle. More than half of his kills, just barely more, than half of his kills were with the sniper rifle. So the bonus coming in heavy there, giving us 77 points for his sticker. So that actually brought us up to 43% on the leaderboard. It's definitely an improvement from the first day when we were in the 80%. Now, for the April 1st date, so April Fool's, haha, no, not really. This is pretty much just the Fnatic team with Guardian as their sniper. So there's not much to that. I actually made a mistake and I used stats from Cluj-Napoca. Well, I guess not a mistake, but I wanted to use the stats from the most recent happenings. And JW is actually a very good sniper, but the thing is, if you remember from the last video, Natus Vincere doesn't play on group stage day 3. So that means Fnatic, I didn't actually get to see their game, so it might have been a 2-0 or a 2-1. But either way, they played 2 matches. So that means JW, with 4 matches total under his belt, has... Let's go to sniper kills to see JW's stats. Has 29 sniper kills with 4 games under his stats, under his belt. However, if you look much lower... Okay, I always make that mistake. So if you actually look lower, JW has 34 kills, right? But that's after playing 4 games. Guardian, on the other hand, averages about 10 sniper kills per game. So if he actually went up, played as many games as JW, he would actually have just as many, actually, if not more, sniper kills. So I think Guardian's actually going to be the better pick here. Entry fragger, just picked the top that I could get, JW in this case. Get right, I don't think he's going to be reliable here. Eco Warrior with the pistol kills. I think it went down to Dennis, wasn't it? Yeah, right here, there he is, right up there with 18. Clutch kills, up with Crims. And KD with, I believe, who did we choose? Flusha. Now he's been doing okay so far, not getting us too many points, but it's going up, and I guess we'll keep it safe for now. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed the pick'em predictions and you want to talk about your own predictions, or maybe discuss the small little controversy between G2 Esports and Virtus Pro with their TeamSpeak crashing and Virtus Pro taking off their headphones and shouting at Taz, leave a comment too. If you want to see more of these videos, I will be producing them in the following days with the semi-final and grand final as videos as well. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying my CSGO content, leave a like on the video, share it with a friend who might be interested as well, and for now, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.